Tip number 1 is an 8 or 9 Dawn Moria play you can do on curves. You can first get out a good value body with also just playing out a Moria. The requirements for this combo is first you're going to need a Gecko Moria. Next, you do need a little Sabo and a little Hiyori in the trash. And then finally, a black Sabo in your hand. You can do this at any Dawn point at 8 or 9 Dawn or even 10 Dawn. And it does help you with sort of those middle games where you can get lots of big bodies out at a good time. So going through a quick example, let's say you go to 2 Dawn. Then you go to your next turn. Let's say your opponent just didn't attack you. Okay, and let's say you just attacked here. You didn't do anything. And then your opponent still decides, well, maybe I'll attack them this time. I need to put a little bit of pressure. So they attack you. And then they give you a card. And then they go to the next turn. You draw a card. You get 2 Dawn. Now you're on your 6th Dawn. This is how you set it up. You have the Sabo ready to go. What you'll do is you'll play 5 to play out the Sabo. You're going to draw 2. You get to discard 2. Now we're doing the play. We want to discard the Hiyori and the Sabo. Just swing 6. And let's say on the next turn they attack you, because why not? They want to get you to 2 life at some point. And on this turn, with 8 Dawn, you'll draw. You'll play out Gecko, paying 8. Playing out the Hiyori standing, the Sabo rested. Using Hiyori, you'll grab this card, add this to your hand, and then you will put a Sabo back. Using the Sabo, giving plus 2,000 to your leader. Playing out the Sabo, drawing 2 more cards, discarding 2 cards. Back out. And now you're a 7K leader with a blocker, ready to go. Hey everyone, welcome to some tips with Black Yellow Luffy. This video is actually brought to be a promotional video where I'm going to be laying out a lot of tips given out by Enigma. I will have a lot of clips in here from Enigma. Go check out that guide on my full Patreon. I normally put about 30 minutes in the actual YouTube for free. However, this time, there was honestly too much value in this, and I felt that it wouldn't really do it a lot of justice, so I decided to put a lot of the tips in a video instead, which does help in regards to playing Black Yellow Luffy. If you want to learn the basics of Black Yellow Luffy, go check out our older guide, but our new guide is a more updated 7.5 and set 8, a little bit of a mashup, and obviously how to deal with a lot of matchups. And this video is brought to you by my sponsors, you guys, my patrons. Thank you to all my patrons, and thank you so much Enigma for being a part of this video. Without further ado, let's get into tip number 2 because of that. Like, it's actually quick question. If you're expecting, like, you know, your opponent and they literally just show you a finger gun, like you just know that they probably have a finger gun in their hand. Do you even play the 5 drop down that turn unless it's a Sabo? You just say, okay, I'm not even. You're not
Yeah,
play
I'll play it regardless. Because like it's basically a 1-for-1.
Okay.
And
because they can't.
I think it's fine. Like,
yeah.
So like theoretically, if you Shinger gun, if you Shigan finger gun an 8K Luffy, right? If you Shigan finger gun an 8K Luffy, you basically trade 1-for-1. But the guy that played 8K Luffy like had the chance to activate his ability.
Mm-hmm.
So you as the Shigan player, you are only ahead. Like this 1-for-1 trade-off is only more valuable to you if you can find utility after the 8K Luffy is removed. The only matchups where I think you need to go 1 life are against Luffy because they have the unblockable event.
Yeah.
And against Perona because Perona just rests their Sabo and then they go for lethal. But Um, but I see a lot of people, as well as when I do coaching, where they'll play searchers early on in the game.
Mm.
I'm not a fan of playing searchers early on in the game because I think that when you play a deck like where you have like Sabos and then you're eventually seeing your life,
Yeah.
the cards that you need in your hand on turn 1 can be vastly different from the cards that you need on turn 5.
Okay.
So, after drawing cards to Sabo and stuff like that, usually on the turn you start engine, you'll always have an extra Dawn to play a searcher.
Mm.
So you can decide what you need later
Okay.
on.
That's one of those really, really big tips. So just to be clear, tip is try not to use your searchers early. Use them later because that's when you know you'll need those. Like you have more options, per se, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay.
Actually, like specifically for the mirror,
Mm.
your last turn that you want to play before your lethal turn is actually not a Moria turn.
Yeah.
You actually want to like maybe have played 2 Morias. Then what you want to do is you actually want to play 2 Kid Sabos so that you can swing 11k 3 times. And then the following turn is where you set up for lethal. So yeah,
Oh.
usually the last turn that you do that you prep for is transforming twice with Kid Sabos and then having like 4 extra Dawn just to swing and take more
I
resources out.
like that. I think that sounds. I mean, it sounds just better, regardless, because that you're not wasting cards on board most of the time.